Wait, did I? Okay. I didn't mean to start broadcasting, but apparently I started it. Sorry. I'm not ready yet. Should I use my headphones? I think I might use my headphones. Wait, okay. I'm not ready yet. I just the wrong button. I put just the wrong button. Select broadcast and start streaming. Oh, that is the wrong one. It should be. Oh no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. Wait. Oh man, still like this. So, yeah, I guess I'll just do it like this then. It's so scuffed. I'm sorry, future me. You're just seeing me super scuffed right now. I didn't mean to start streaming right away, and so it's scuffed. It's scuffed right now. Okay, it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not fine. I don't know. Ooh. It really is. Okay. Let's just start the game. Okay? Even though I'm not ready to stream yet, but doesn't matter. How are you today, future me? Are you doing great, future me? I hope you are. I am not doing great at all. I think. I'm not. Okay. Let's just start from last time we were in. Which one is that? This one. Trial and error. Okay. The Old Bailey, defendants, and the chamber. There's that old familiar feeling again. Crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no, it's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There is a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. Because he is here. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details, however. I understand that no jury has been selected. What? A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. A closed court. Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes! Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Me too. What to one man is a little hair problem? It's another day drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Oh dear, how awful for you. A I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you, looking so full of vim. And I see London celebrated the great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate me, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagement with a few trivial cases. The Reaper's overbearing presence is far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point in which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be your eye for a good lawyer, sir. Aww. Aww, Mr. Sholmes. After all, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind. My own. There we go. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Oh, okay. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's morning band, I suppose? Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there's some fruits to see. Odo. Yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? This Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him what killed the boss. I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it wasn't him, who was it? I don't know that yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person in the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him who killed the boss, then God help him. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least that may be some solace to the deceased. Please, Odo. Yeah, whoever did this, for the boss. Oh, Gina. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've gotta find who done this and make that wretch pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. Alright then, here we go. Let's go get it. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zix. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, and forced to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look at it straight in the eye. Okay. What? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant Baron Van Zix. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. Prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, feels... But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution bench. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been scourged like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind this scourge. In the other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. Truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Her Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the jurors' bench shall remain vacant today. If no members of the public are present, may I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure equitable trial. Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is very unusual trial already. There is of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. Counsels for the prosecution and defense are both aliens of Great Britain. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma? Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? The location was a building on flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of his country's grimmest case 10 years ago. Professor Case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported at the same time. Yes, that's what China told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. That's big. What? The room is really big. What? Or why is it Gregson so small? The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. How has the range been determined? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But the powder, hot enough to leave scorch marks, is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it's only happened when the target is at point-blank range. I see. Yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Consul. Okay. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord. Not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama, for not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance cannot be proven. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victims and struck the wall behind him. There is a candle burn mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yes, that's right. Thank you for the true report, Counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. We will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. Okay. Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? No, my lord. The room is rented to Mr. Huge Boone. But there is a precious little furniture inside and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other. Oh my god. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witness and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. So the details of the case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, counsel. Naturally, the accused himself. Lord Van Zieks? As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken and will compel to tell the truth. Very well, let the defendant take the witness then. Ooh! Oh, this tension in the air is so high. So witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Baruch Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you have heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening thesis. I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. And I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things, Wei. Namely, why you were in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intended to explain away nothing. I simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come, but since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony then, witness. Whew. The facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of the Inspector Gregson appeared before me. What? Wait, what? That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So you heard a gunshot. You heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, you would barely qualify as an excuse. That would barely. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you will have way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It will appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word. It's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well then. Consul, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. What if there's a hidden room? Mate? Press. Mata? You're investigating the inspector. What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I identified a distinct possibility that Grayson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. It's up to the court to understand then that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene. No, I was privy to his movement in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would consider a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you, is that not the case, Lord Van Six? I was aware of the possible consequences. So in summary, you were investigating the victim, and yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutor enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigation into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m., the sun will only have just gone down. It will still have been reasonably light outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? And you're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just there. Yes, I remember, and there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. A moment later, the hired gun shook a spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. So, who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. But you say it was very dark in there. Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Aha, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? No, that's out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. This is going from bad to worse. And you say that the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct, and I foolishly picked it up. That was careless on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They have all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. Doesn't make any sense. What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly cannot explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea. Surely the court has heard enough? My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Perk Van Ziggs, is lying on multiple fronts. What? What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, Consul! The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. It's proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victims and struck the candle. The problem comes from when you Consider the two candles which are clearly of different lengths. Yes, I can see that the only candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. Oh my god, the OST is so good! I love this one. I love this OST. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah! Wait, what? That's right. When the candle was hit with the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts with those facts. And now to the next lie. There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. There's a common thread linking all of the documents on that board. Indeed. What is this common thread, Counsel? They all related to cases prosecuted in court by Baruch van Zix. All of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord! Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah! Oh no! In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I am sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? What? Order! 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 Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Baruch van Zix is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Asogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it will be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses that saw events unfold the day in the question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshots and went running to the room. Very well, lead the witness in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. Poor Funzix. What the... So witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court. Names? We don't use names. What too fancy for the likes of us.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we wanna live.
I give them all vacant stares. They walk down Fresno and spin a few words into verse for them. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passerby, you know. Jaunty little tidbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your chinel, it is. 6 pence is the price, and not a penny less. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, console. Alright. 6 pence it is. 6 pence. You won't regret it, sir. Now, got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Slate Street have just had twins. Oh my god. 6 pence just for that? Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread, but that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. Got more, you know? Another juicy one? 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, but what's going on under that fat bottom lips of yours? Namely that unusual bruise, or whatever is that poking out from under your collar. Oh my god, that's true. What about the next witnesses then? What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Me? I'm Venice. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. 6 pence a pop. What you say?
You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell?
Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my finest firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What you say then, eh? Want a part of the 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll tell you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom. Try the woman. Give her money and see if she's right. The judge trying to... Oh my god. Pay the woman, console. Alright, I buy one. Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. The Fanny Special, only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks, but nothing little but that, is there? And there'd be nothing little but the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Wait, why? Oh! What if the gunshot is actually a firecracker? Right? That's a possibility. That's why it's in the court. I'm
thinker. Me think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am, therefore I think. I think? Because I stand there in the street watching the world go on about me, they call me the observator. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you sandwich and you know it. So you don't actually sell anything? A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do. And think what it means. I don't actually sell anything. No, come to think of it. Kitty. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning till night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose? No, not only that. But they very bravely ran inside to see what's going on and witness the crime. Well, I'll be beggared, I thought, just between us. Fairness the Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. Well, what I think is, what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes. Is any of it real? Very well. The court will hear from the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. We saw the whole thing from start to finish with it. Everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossips couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I ran into the room and there he was. The Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared of that, so I ran off to find Cooper. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? That's true. Only the victim, Infector Gregson, and the accused Baron Van Zix. I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. Just between us, folks love story like this. I've made myself a tidy sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. What? Of course they are. They're small, damn dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know that the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huge Moon. The testimony the court has just heard will appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than a defendant could have committed the crime. No! Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to the cross-examination of the witness. Yes, my lord? In a closed court like this, without the jury, the judge is the only person whose opinions matter. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Okay, drink. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zix? I suppose so. The likes of us doesn't know the name of the high and mighty.
But I'll tell you one thing, it was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson? Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The first fella must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I'd have forgotten a fella with bright hair? What? With bright red hair like that? Does it? Yeah, it's really very red, rather than my flaming fireworks even. That fiery red bulb still burn on the inside of my eyelids. It is. Wait a minute, you're saying the man was redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Hey, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Oh, Gregson! Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right. And a red hairpiece? Ah! Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? Okay. The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, Consul. And what became of the trunk of the red-headed victim that was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared? What do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. Mata! By which presumably you mean the gunshot? I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know that what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it's probably sound a bit like this, doesn't it? And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant and here enter the building. That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went. Just like that. Well, he's the Reaper, in it. In here. It's what the French call a fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, ain't it? Ain't it? I think we got the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to leave after he discovered his secret hideout. There can no be clearer motive for the crime. Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive. Great. And at that point you ran inside, is that correct? Mata? So when Gossip ran to see what happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered. See, all the signs are there that I can't move very well. You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand? What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? He does seems like we kind of he does seems like familiar. Where do we met before? I'm not anybody. Me, the signs, or what make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am. So you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago then? It was the omnibus driver, huh? It was the omnibus driver. I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He clearly been through a lot. Turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widower's Arms is just there. Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign. Life is full of surprises. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional I did and yell out, "What's going on over here?" Lord Fancy claims all he heard was a man scream though. And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. Not dark at all. There were candles burning on the walls. Really? And there was a fellow collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. I see. Even though Lord Fancy claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused, Baron Fanzix. That's right, that pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. Stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold hard stare myself. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head. I'm just two slices with no middle. Oh my god, so poor guy. So I don't know what you would want with me. I think that maybe you just remember something, having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement. I mean, what I think is we're all nothing really. We tried to dress up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's enough of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into real Sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over in his backside. That's it. Oh, you rotten beggar! I told you to keep that a secret! He screamed, he did. He screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was that slippery, that's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. What? A pool of blood? But listen here, even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving the Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did. Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I sleep over. We can't keep it a secret between us, can we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. This statement is really suspicious. You wipe your hand on the floor? Well, who wants blood on his hands? Eh? Terrible stuff. And they might have thought I'd done it. No talk. And you didn't think that might be a problem. Does it really matter if I left a few grubby handprints on the floor? They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's the message from all of us. Is something wrong, Consul? No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about the bloody handprint on the floor. That's all. Don't come at me with all that. You cannot intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor. The blood. I wonder, could that be what happened? Mr. Naruhodo? I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. This is weird because we don't have any... If I checked here, like, oh, so many evidence. If you check, what is this? Oh, this the crime scene photo. If you check here, it's not like it's the bloody floor is not that big, right? It's not that big of a bloody floor. Okay, let me save this. Save to save. It's weird because look at that. Look at the blood. It's not that much, and it's only around Inspector Gregson. How could he have blood all over his hand? There's no such thing. Which one should I present? Is it this one? Oh man. No, load. Yeah. Maybe the floor plan? Okay. Maria Gori. Where did I hear that name before? Maria Gori? Maybe it's this one? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it's not it. Load. Okay. Definitely something here, right? It's vital clue. Or maybe it was the red hairpiece. Because there's no blood. He will think the blood is the red hairpiece. I'm stretching it, I know. Let's try it.
That's not it. Maybe don't present anything. Let's try to press this one then. So you didn't run to the room with your friends. I'm not that sort of girl. Sorry? I'm a timid little thing. Me. I was too scared to go in there. Alright, I see. Lippy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of old lady scream. Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it. I wondered what on earth was going on. Which is when you went to find a policeman. And I ran into Cooper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight back to the place. Didn't I do well, eh? Just between us, that Cooper's eyes nearly popped off his head when he saw the Reaper. I never felt more uncomfortable in all my life. And the defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe. Considering the catalog of killings the Reaper had carried out, it was a particular inauspicious end. If I cannot find any holes to this testimony, I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements to the air. Still, if Lord Francis really is innocent, then I'm almost certain that we'll find something there doesn't quite add up. You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you? I don't know, but what do I know? Is that there's more to this case that has yet to be brought to light. It seems to me it's this one. It's this one, but like... Which one? Right? Which one of it? Autopsy report? No, it couldn't be. Oh, look at that. Hey? Oh, what's this? Mr. Naruhodo, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color, that's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. If the blood print is... If the handprint is there, like... Huh? No way! No way! So you wipe off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter? The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint in blood, left clearly, very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. You're right. That's my right hand. I know it everywhere.
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant. Not if the board itself had fallen over on the floor. In that case, it's quite possibly for the witness handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in upright position. Even if it had been someone toppled and was lying on the floor at that time, it would have been considerable distance from the body. I fell over when I come across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. On the other words, the defense assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you have formulated a proper hypothesis, Consul? Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene. I have, my lord. I don't. Oh my god, I don't know. The discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by... I don't know. Please help. Board moving? Did the board move? I don't think the board moved. It should be another handprint, shouldn't it? But where would the other handprint be? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. This is a key, right? There's nothing here either. Where is the handprint then? There's another handprint? No? Oh look, that is weird. And so much detail. I don't think it's false testimony. I don't think it's false testimony. The board moving? There's a possibility that the board moved. Another handprint? There's no another handprint. The board moving. False testimony? Is it false testimony? I don't think it's false testimony. Let's try this one. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. That's true! Good gracious, so it is! If the witness had put his hand on the board, the fingers would be pointing upwards. What does it tell us? What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What? You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And that would be the position of the notice board at the time of incident, my lord. So, Consul, I must ask you to qualify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? I think it's here. Right? Or here? No, it's here. Here?
be here or here, right? It should be near the door or near the body. It should be here. It should be around here. Let me save. Oh my god. It should be around here. If the court will think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room it was dark and he couldn't see the body. Bye? If the notice board had been there, the body would have been completely hidden from the view. Oh my god! True! That is true! And the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker. But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked up the firearm to examine, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. I don't know what calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me who kicked that door open. If you look again at the floor plan, the door opens the way to the Consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, keying it over, making the victim's body visible. Good gracious! My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Ugh. Order! Order! Counsel, how has this not come to light before then? After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room. Someone tampered with the crime scene. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witness in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Hey, stop looking for your glasses at me! I get the message! The mystery of the moving board. I didn't think about their notice board. I just swiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. What do you mean by the second years? The school guys. I don't know anything about anything. This is just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was that Reaper, I bet. He's got the face that screams sport. I cannot see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. So none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. You cannot expect this witness to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right. Yeah, it doesn't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed the crime is Barak Van Zix. None of this wrangling over the board changed the simple fact.
Quite so, quite so.
Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Most certainly, my lord.
Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. The judge is so nice, actually. He's really nice. I like the judge. Ta? So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on?
Admit it? What's to admit? That there's a plain of... If it's there plain as a day for all to see, a smashing print of my right hand.
Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you?
No. I mentioned the weight of that general lamp. Do I look like the powerful and well-nurtured man?
Well, did you see anybody else moving the board?
I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little sights inside. Either my bottom lip was all a quiver.
In other words, this witness is unable to give definite testimony on that point.
Yes, so it would seem.
Mata? When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to Kingdom Come. Huh. So I've been telling on them. Letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know that the kids playing with touchy toys. Then praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. This busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. What is you why? Choto? Choto mata?
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich?
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Did Miss Venus' statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts, deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And the great liar said without batting an eye. Telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Will those words of her be a lie too, or the truth? In which case she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
True. It's a paradox. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that.
I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're trying to say, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Old Blibbermot here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
Hehe. Do you mean to say that you did in fact take yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch? So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief! Well, now you've come to mention it, I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah? Either you clearly remember it or you don't. Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossips and have a little peek into the room where it all happened. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh please, as if I would. I cannot think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I had to look to see if there's anything I could sell. So I did give the place once over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right, now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it, so I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, I flipped the blasted thing. You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that slipped out, didn't it? What? You daft farmbot! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken perhaps? To sell? Oh, please, I should be lucky. Be so lucky in my image. The truth. Now! I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. Just a bit of junk like this cannot be... So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard. For a big case he solved 10 years ago. Professor case, no doubt. Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for its grub to come at the pub. I see. I swiped it off once and by me was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he missed a day in the last day and used polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him. That watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not at all though. I took it to Jabez that night and I asked how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knock about and worthless he called it. Ah! I knew I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please. Just so long you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it up from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children, watch your manners. Good Lord! The glass appears to be broken. More than likely it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Well, it will appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least. And as predicted, it has very little bearing on the case. Ugh. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, Consul. Okay. Mata? But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high. So you did go to see what happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? We're both different members of the sign family. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out of the sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo science. Does that mean that you didn't notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroad of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving notice? It's the girl. Mata! Mata? What exactly do you mean by that? Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you not notice. He looked like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards. They're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. I cannot say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor or off the Reaper, not for a second. Sorry? Well, I was that scared I couldn't... You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, don't you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. That I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear on that. I couldn't have missed it if he heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right, glad we've cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? Feel your pain, Kazuma. Let's see. At 5. There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole. Here, look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such a great care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene. Maybe. The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. Imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very adept at things like this, a useful man to have around. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruto, not an odd job man. There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you needed just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's the right size fit to this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully for what we've already found. It's this thing. It's this thing. It's this thing, right? Susato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for the Inspector Drexel's watch? Oh yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. I knew it. A perfect fit. And look! The Inspector watch has started going again. So it has obviously not just one up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Sato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over. Maybe I didn't. But the Reaper of the Fate is still either way because of the gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. If I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, doesn't it? Not much to go on. As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma is right and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. There's no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instinct. Alright then. I don't know, man. This is the only thing that is different. The only thing that's different is that one. Wait, what is this? You have an idea, Mr. Naruto. You're staring at the end of the string of the fireworks. Sorry, it's just that the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 cans worth of fireworks would sound. Shall we find out? What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Alright, that was fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruto. It sounded exactly like a gunshot. Wait a minute. What if? Okay, let's see if what if the gunshot is the what if the gunshot is the firecracker, right? We don't know. We don't know. Let's try. Oh no, it's not. It's not. What is it then? What is it? Is it this one? This one? There's nothing here. Nothing here either. Right? Nothing here either. 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 What if it didn't die? I don't know. Oh. I did it. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but I did it. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. And the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key? And having won the pocket watch, we discovered that in fact it still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which the entire case has been built. The time of death. Yeah! Order! But console! The watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot. It is exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it went down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock. Even if that's true, the three witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for a grub to come at the pub. And he had missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winded it. It meant the world to him that watched it. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he won the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely worn down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, why? Well, in summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You cannot mean... What would stop a man from winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Order! Order! Consul, that is the most extraordinary claim. Extraordinary isn't a word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that the Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's true, I noticed it too. I noticed that too. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in? What do you mean? The blood. Like I said, I planted my hand on a dirty great puddle of blood. Yes, so the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he? But that blood could be explained in a number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could be poured over the... Does my learned friend think... Why do they... Kazuma, why do you have to use the same type of phrases as Baron Van Zieks? Well, it needn't necessarily have to be human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct, it is beyond our abilities. So then, a chicken's blood would have been used, for example. It is certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all. But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. It is. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? Us lot know what we've heard, and it was a loud bang that come from that there room. Now you listen to me, a street seller's ears are his livelihood. You don't doubt your ears, sirs. I don't doubt your ears, but all you can state with certainty that you heard a noise. Explain yourself then, Consul. A noise that sounded like a gunshot could have been made with... Could I... Something like this. The culprit could have set one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious! The very fireworks that are sold by the witness! Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See? Not 100 of them together. The Fena special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. Are you trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew that the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating sound like gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at that time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause the bang was Baron Franzix. One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady. Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Good heavens, a bomb? Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate praising there may lead to another international incident. No, wait, it's the whenever you like part that's important. A time device. Yes, exactly, a time device. Something that nature could have been planted on the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim have to be sustained with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have suggested in any way that the time device was employed to create the gunshot sounds? What? It's the candle, isn't it? It feels like it's a candle. Let's see. Let me save first. Hello, save. Here's the candle. As the court has already discussed, the tip of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by a bullet which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks, clearly visible on the broken candle. There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victims around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Oh! Which means that the scorching on the candle cannot possibly be the result of the gunshots. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How can that be? Eh? The fact that there's such a visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they explode. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at the point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burned down along with the other two. until eventually it ignites the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. It makes sense. It makes sense. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe that they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot! And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe the previous day even. No, just hold your horses. All us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that the witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily be someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say the killer? It was the same person who contrived this firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Skinner Hodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of great defense lawyer? I also know that lack of time of that in this report, stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. What do you mean by that, man? Oi! Prosecutor Asogi! What on earth do you mean by that statement? It's true! Wait, you said something like that in the court of law! I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjectures. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly, I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent that what case the man was pursuing, wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can be explained to court. The case that was being investigated by by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? Isn't this one? Let me see. Let me see. The details of whole raft cases dating back 10 years and here. Paper from 10 years ago is browning in age. Look. Out of interest, the most recent thing occurred to me this newspaper cutting. Oh, it's the same red-headed advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had put up. And do you remember that was red hairpiece at the scene too? Was Inspector Gregson as was one of the red-headed then? Why is there a sound like that? Where does that sound come from?
Why is it so slow? Wait. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Wait, what? Why is it suddenly so slow? I don't understand. Wait. Why is it like this? Why is it suddenly so slow? Wait, let me do this. The sound is late, but the picture is okay, but the sound is late. What shall I do now? Should I continue like this? I think I should. It's this one. It's this one. Did I save? Did I save yet? It's this one. I believe this red hair piece points to the answer. We might assume that it was part of disguise used to carry it out an undercover investigation. Surely not, such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It will definitely have made him stand out in the crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, you already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for grand deception. The deception of what nature, Council? They've been targeting red-headed men all across London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 redheads? Why would he want to be summoned? What? Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot, in good conscience, leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi. At once, my lord. Very good. We will now have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. To be continued. Save. This one.
The Old Bailey, defendants, and the chamber. Oh, there you are, Otto. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Gina. You sure about what you said there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I! Possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. You are in competition. This is the autopsy. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on and Dr. Side. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zix discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the red-headed league, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those league men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly 4-pound income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suit, I mean. That's right, sis. And it was me who took them in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the red-headed league yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of his weekly 4-pound income. Don't talk with me the same brush of you, Sholmes. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zix for some reason. The Reaper, the red-headed league, Inspector Gregson's, Lord Van Zix, and Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answer will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato? Yes. Whew. 2nd November, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey, courtroom. He's here. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Baron Van Zix, here present, who stand accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Aso. My lord? Have you summoned the witness, as requested? Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. Okay. Okay. These two men are currently being held by the police on a suspicion of attempt extortion. You may omit your occupation, but state your names now for the court.
am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great Rousseau family from Nice in France. My name is Pino de Rossi. I am the third son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The two men first became acquainted at boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Temsky are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to born with noble blood? Lords, I make it my mission to get the better of the war by employing the little great sense of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. Huh. So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He has grand ideals but petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of hilarious brothers. Si capo? Listen to me, Pepino. I have two things to say to you. Hey, Che, are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes, Viva? Firstly, I want to stop me this scapo. And secondly, we are not the earliest brother. This is serious business. Sibiro, the capo's trump card. The forward bro. It is deep, capo. The furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you plan to defraud? Lords, I will explain it. No, capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. Way, those dogs! One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head on what says bien Pepino enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the P newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. I saw this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I'm wondered that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On that date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at the park, specified in the advertisement, and from each person present, the pair took application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money to friends, it was a plan most illegal, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in such taken by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk with like a coasters of orange sparrow. And the day on which all the men gathered to apply was the day before the victims was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. See, and now,
Every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony to the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help this Zila. Are you sure about that? You will always help this with this law. We have more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph, capo. I cannot speak French. What do you mean? I cannot speak French. No, I don't believe I'm obviously is dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Allora, this victim is nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I'm quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurance. Oofa! With this attitude, we got nowhere. We get nowhere. He's really a sulking. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads Lime Street, red-headed leaf, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the red-headed leaf, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord. Okay. Whew. Okay. 1,000 people? That's very big crowd. It was quite spectacle. Redheads come from all over the capital. See, the capo here, he has the magnetissimo animale, eh? Anybody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The 4 pounds per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui. That we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names and we take their money and we take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take someday and tell them no by a cosa infinito, maybe a 2-minute person. We started early in the morning, we stop late in the night. So you earn 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Would have thought there were 1,000 such gullible red-headeds in London to start with. One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. Mata. He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. This is a week, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with the red hair, it will be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, signor. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. But he's not going to give the court the definite, it seems. Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, eh? But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning with the end of the day. Surely then, you cannot really remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally the red head is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe then we could recall. That is not the line, Pepino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache do not match the color, then I do not think that I could have forgotten him. Kazuma said this two had only been shown that photograph, then they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim, for example? Fish and chips? Fish and chips, anyone? I can certainly appreciate that you knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Or a spaghetti. I love spaghetti. Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Pepino. Si, Capo, si. I said it again and again. Wait, I still doubt this. Maybe his occupation? No, not occupation. I don't think it's his occupation. His name? His name? I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man's name was Gregson? The man in the photograph is a Monsieur Gregson? Yes. Names, they are boring. I did not listen to any of them. Oh. It was not a real interview, eh? It was just for a show. Why would I remember the names? That's right. This changes nothing. The man in the photograph was not there. As we have already said. I see. Seems there's little to be gained from pursuing this point further. Tell them again what you said before, Pepino. Okay. But we only have your word for that. See, but what else can we do, True. Ufa, we are not having much of fun these days. we are arrested, then we are shown then we are shown the horrible picture of the dead man. Of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Hi, couple. No, you are caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. You had to bring that up, eh? That is no fair. Hey, couple. How did you guys got caught? What do you mean by that? Couple, you promised not to say, eh, couple? After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk to my companion here. But he broke them for the wrong day. Oops. See, but it is not an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st. Oh, I have no sympathy for you. We were on all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this so-called great red-headed detective called us. Capo, you know what I think. This is the work of God. It's a holy punishment, eh? Pepino, for the last time. This is not a holy punishment. This is all your fault. Your fault. Ah! Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You're making me sick with the anger. Maybe I make a mistake. But when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. That is such a good one. It rhymes so good. They haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Sir Hodo? Well, if it wasn't the inspector's diary, it seems like that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are expert in deception, don't forget, sounding plausible in their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information. Definitely. It's that one. No, not this one. Not this one. It's this one. This one. This one. Huh. His profession. I'm starting to talk like the French and the Italian. I can certainly appreciate that you just knowing the man had red hair will help you remember his station. But what if I told you the man in the red headpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective. Yes. It will appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this has changed nothing. Oh.
Shut up!
Something to add, Mr. DeRossi? See. I am always adding something, blah, blah, blah. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Hey, what did he just say about the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Pepino. I have said enough already. You have said enough already. But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said that I'm an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good lord!
He's so tiny. Order! 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 Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man who was at the There was no such man. Madai, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this come to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it is time to eat the pasta, no one is some faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up. Yari! Ugh! Drop dart, Sintamachista. Indeed it is, sir. Oi, there was a man who comes to the park, said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked like nothing the man in this photograph. He was something else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face is completely different. See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was younger. His face was clean shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. No resemblance whatsoever then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled, so I took the obvious precaution and said to him, "You are really a detective, show us the proof." See, the Capo here, he doesn't take a no for nonsense, eh? But I was well prepared, he said. He had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector identification? That is the most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord. Consul, no incognito inspector will offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake. Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we are in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? What happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoyed. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his paper from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastical. And look, here is his identification. So you stole it from the man? He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not the one. He was not what he said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it will be prudent for these identification papers to enter into evidence. But I like them. Are you sure? Who's... Wait. Wait. Who is it? Okay, let's open it. No, let's open it. Yeah. Look at what's inside. Who's this? Yes, it definitely looks like fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what's name is given? Probably just something plucked up there. Tobias Gregson? It is Mr. Tobias. I mean, Mr. Inspector Gregson. Wait, what? The Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the Department of Identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say... I know it seems incredible, but yes, I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all.
Is there anything else? Warren card. Is there anything else that we could use here? Wait a minute, let's see. Um, um, has nothing to do with us. This? I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade? Gina? Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Consul? Is this really fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we cannot answer ourselves. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's. No question about it. It cannot be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed Lake's enrollment on the day in questions was the real Inspector Gregson's, carrying out an incognito investigation. Suit allows. Order! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose someone, report it at once, it said. Would it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically, eh? What are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting... Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No! Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? I know nothing. I done nothing. Pull yourself together, Pepino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no? Now I wish I had a return to Italia. So stop crying, Pepino, please. Otherwise, I... Doom, stop your whining and stop talking. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story and I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I done nothing. But you will tell everything or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again. About these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. Pepino, your belly button is showing. Oh my god, this guy. Stop seeing other people's belly button. See,
The truth is, we took him prisoner and keep him the night for at our secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day just in case. We took the man identification from him and shot him in the room next to ours. There might have been little tussle, but we did him no harm. The next morning, we let him go. He spent a night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man? But no, it was not like a prison. He was a very comfortable and calm and happy. Happy couple. It was never part of my plan, I swear it. So you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong. By 1 million a by 1 little a day. I do not think it was your fault, Pepino. I know it. No, per favore, capo. It's not fair. Shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. I don't believe this. Oh, could he have been a real detective? Counsel for defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in his peer's hideout. Okay. See through this. Okay. Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I didn't intend for that to happen. I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See? Nothing else. This was the first crime for the capo. He was the end of these weeds. I have told you before, Pepino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea with the capo here. An impulsive idea, I would say. No, not an impulsive, inspired, eh, capo? What am I supposed to say to that, Pepino? It was in the house described by and it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? But you have to remember, it was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up. If you don't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain. Too scared? Why? Because we had come to the park. We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plans. And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow a whistle on us. Even he was just a feign to be inspector, he was up to no good, oh? Without it up, eh? I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, see, you may be right. Hey, Capo. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no chance to take the man a prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I asked myself the same question.
we were writing down the names and addresses of all the people who we took 5 ceilings from that day. I have forgotten the name of the day, but the address it startled me. See the address, Colton Yard Homicide Division, he said. What? He probably didn't like your face, Pepino. Anyway, it was not true, just politely asked him why he had said it. That when he started to say he was an inspector, not long afterwards, he took off his identification. What was Inspector Grayson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did it. That being the identification book here, correct? See, that is the one. What made you believe that it was forgery? I never seen a real one, of course, but he was so suspicious, this a man. Allora I was thinking, it must be a falso, eh, capo? Oui, it is as Pepino said, we were convinced it was not genuine. So together, the hilarious brother, we took the man captive. How we did was shove him inside the locker room. Then we made preparation for transfer for all the money. For a penny in for a pound. What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Bob, it was nothing, just a minor accident. The falso inspector, he was a real piece of work. Hey, capo. What happened? Ufa, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room and what does he do, eh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. Can you blame him? We chased him, bien sure. Bien sure. And we caught him again. Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? So, what do you think we are? Of course not. I simply called him again, took him back to the room. Are you sure? Chotto! Chotto? Chotto mata? Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Hi! Me! Something Mr. Rosso just said seemed to make you, well, it seems to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? Cavolo, at times like this, like that, you don't want to have the capo after, believe me. And I speak of from personal experience. Personal experience? That is enough, Pepino. There is a need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the red-headed league plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, eh? And he dragged me to the horse, kicking and not screaming. I still have a bruise to prove it, eh, capo? Bruises, you say? Ah, you wanna see, You wanna see my fantastical bruises? That's enough now, Pepino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do? I show you, or I don't. I show you, or I don't. You do, now. Allora, if everybody wants to see, then I do it. Echo, you see? It's still very visible, eh? That red ring around your neck, you got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo sometimes he is a very rough. I said that's enough. Pepino's neck is nothing to do with what we're talking about here. You have my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Counsel? About this red ring around Mr. Rose's neck. I wonder, does it matter? Let's see. There's something sort of like that here. Oh wait, I can see. Look. Wait. Look at here. Look at that. You look at that. There he is. There's a ring around his neck. Pink. Maybe. Or maybe that's just a shadow. Maybe that's just a shadow. I don't know. Wait, let me. Mr. De Rossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about the mark on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see everyone is interested in what I say, huh? Very well. You will amend to your testimony as requested, Mr. De Rossi. See, you really want to know. He tried to escape, but the capo put the collar on him and drag him back like what I did to me, you see? Are you saying that the red mark was caused by... See, a big collare made from the letter. A letter collar? Is this true, Mr. Durso? Well, we had sent Bernard to come when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. Strong chain? Can you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to a leg. The better, though. I would not have tried to run away again. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat up the people equally. This is the capo, here's the motto, eh? It's starting to sound like more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough. I shouldn't have done it. So the following morning, when you released the inspector, he had the red ring around his neck, just like me. Pepino, his silver's plate. Leave it now. Now you know, Capo here, you don't wanna tangle with him, but for the inspector, it's not so bad. Cool. You took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. If you say that, then I say this. There is something that takes away our freedom too, the lack of money. So we are the prisoner as well, eh? All of us. Huh? No money, no freedom. This is the truth. True. That is actually true. It makes me mad, and it makes me mad. What can we do? Well, if you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court, though it costs you, of course. There you have it. You see, That is why we need to meet the red-headed league to fight for the justice.
Perhaps he has a point.
No, Mr. Naruhodo. All we did was to give a man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prison, huh?
Perhaps he has a point again.
Not again, Mr. Naruhodo. You should have heard him snoring. But hey, if anyone was disturbed, it was us.
Not much to go on, really.
Your testimony does make me wonder, you know? But this pocket watch belonging to the inspector, I mean. Ah yes, the one he treasured so much apparently. He was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying. He would still have been able to wind his watch. That's very true, yes. So did Inspector Gregson actually die while he was being captive by these redheads? In which case, it is possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's. To be honest, I find it hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. But there was nothing in the court record. Yes, court record. No, in his autopsy report that has stated about that, right? His autopsy report didn't state that. His autopsy report stated that there was nothing of sort. I'm scared. I'm scared. Should we try to do this? It's not. Okay, it's not. Then what is it? What is it? This is so hard? Yeah, of course this is so hard. This guy is not it. This woman is not it either. Gregson? No. Is this one? Wait, it is? It is that one. What? How? Why? So, why? So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was somni. However, they described it. There was one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, Consul? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. There's no mark. You will see that there's no red ring visible around his neck. Hey, but that make no sense. It was me who took the collar of the man in the morning, and I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. Rossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar. But what do we tell you? Hey. He said this from the beginning. Many times. Oui, Peppino is right. The man was the photograph. Is he someone different to the man who held captives at night? So who is the man who they held captive then? Oh. Wait, it's the husband, isn't it? It's this husband. The husband of the woman, this guy. It's this guy. Oh my god. Because he was missing. He was missing for 1 day. Maybe it was him. It would appear that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector made a note about the red-haired league in his diary for that day, which surely means we cannot divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson from whom these two red-handed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts cannot lie. Even when they point to something incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the red-headed league's enrollment is revealed by information in the court, I believe. Good gracious! Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you are apparently seeing? Who exactly is this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRose and Rosie? I think it's an imposter.